very good morning, our honorable guests, Dr. Minnie Thomas and Mrs. Devyani Khankoji, our faculty members, and my dear friends. I, Adira Kullara, chairperson of WIE IEEE VSIT Students Branch, would like to warmly welcome you all to Stree at the rate 2022 at the rate Break the Bias, a collaboration between IEEE, WIE, VSIT, and Women's Development Cell WDC. IEEE Women in Engineering WIE is a global network of IEEE members and volunteers dedicated to promoting female engineers and scientists and inspiring girls worldwide to pursue academic interest in engineering and science. WIE envisions a vibrant community of IEEE women and men working together to innovate and initiate for the benefit of humanity. Let's begin this event with the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. I kindly request everyone to rise for Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you. Now I kindly request Dr. Sarika Chauhan ma'am, branch mentor of IEEE VSIT Students Branch, to say a few words.
Thank you, Athira. So a very good morning, everyone. I, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, would like to welcome everyone to our finale, to our event 3 at 2022, Break the Bias, which is a collaboration of WIIEEE VSIT and Women's Development Cell, WDC of VSIT. These last few days have been a truly magnificent experience. We had planned a week-long event on account of International Women's Day, during which we discussed a variety of topics. We held our first session on women's rights, where we learned about numerous laws and articles pertaining to women, and we invited Advocate Nadia Sarguru to speak on the topic, which was well received by the audience. On March 8th, we had a yoga session where Mrs. Dipali Rana taught us various exercises to stay fit and healthy. On March 9th, we had a self-defense session where professionals like Ms. Gargi Chavan and Ms. Harshada Zate illustrated some strategies and techniques for defending ourselves in any situation. On March 10th, we held a women's health session wherein Dr. Shilpa Desai discussed the importance of mental health, the problems that can arise if it is ignored, and how it affects our performance. Yesterday, on March 11th, we had a personality grooming session led by Ms. Jaini Haria, who spoke to us about doing the right thing at the right time in social situation. As for Stree, it has become our annual event, a tradition that honors and gives well-deserved recognition to strong, empowering movement in STEM, while also fueling the inspiration of young minds and providing great role models for them to look up to. Today, it is with great pleasure that I announce our event lined up, which includes Dr. Minnie Thomas and Mrs. Devyani Khankoji. Both are extraordinary women who have achieved great success in their respective fields. And I can't wait to hear their talk. So let's go ahead and thank you once again for joining us today. Thank you. and welcome once again to the finale of our Stree at the 2020 Break the Bias. Over to you, Athira. Chetna?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Chetna. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the oration, ma'am. So, our first speaker for today is Dr. Minnie Thomas. Dr. Minnie Thomas is a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, JMI, and was the director of the National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, from 2016 to 2021. Dr. Thomas was the founding director of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, CIE. With a keen interest, capable guidance, and leadership, NIT Trichy established the first Center of Excellence in Manufacturing in 2018. Dr. Thomas has done extensive research work in the area of supervisory control and data acquisition system, substation and distribution automation, and smart grid. She has published over 150 research papers in the international journals and conferences of repute. She has supervised 16 PhDs and has successfully completed many research projects. She is the author of the textbook Power Systems SCADA and Smart Grids by CRC Press. Dr. Thomas has set up the first of its kind SCADA laboratory and substation automation laboratory at JMI, and as the founder and coordinator, started a unique first full-time MTech program in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. For these contributions, Dr. Thomas won the IEEE Educational Activities Board Meritorious Achievement Award 2015. She is a distinguished lecturer of IEEE Power and Energy Society and is a certified trainer for capacity building of women managers in higher education by UGC and has conducted many training sessions for women empowerment. Dr. Thomas is very active in professional societies like IEEE and has traveled extensively around the globe, delivered lectures in prestigious universities, and has interacted with all the technical experts from all over the world. So, ma'am, we would like to welcome you with a small sapling from our side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. And without taking much of your time, I would like to start with your session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Chetna and Dr. Sarika. Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk to young minds. It gives me immense pleasure, and I feel that it's my duty to encourage more women to take up leadership positions and guide them. So my congratulations to the whole team of VSIT for organizing this week-long program. And you had a variety of programs which actually shows the interest taken by your administration as well as the women's cell as well as the women in engineering group there to organize a bundle of events which really help girl students and girls and boys in your institute. So congratulations on that. It covered, I think, almost everything which a girl wants to know, starting from the legal aspect, grooming, yoga, and you are showing them many people who have been successful in life. So my talk primarily will I will explain my journey as a person, how I reached the position of director of NIT Trichy. Along the journey, I was alone at many places as a single woman in many aspects, and maybe the first woman to do this, do that. But then, it was sometimes difficult, sometimes it was easy. So I will just describe my journey from childhood in a few words, and along with that, some attributes which I found very useful. And I'll end up with some tips for women and men which I discovered in my life, my life journey as a professional. So this is what I am planning to do. And I mean, to sum it up, or to give you a perspective, I feel that, I could achieve whatever little I have achieved is because I took a lot of risks in life. I grabbed opportunities. So I was planning to give a title to my talk, that you wake up and grab the opportunities. Let me start from childhood. I grew up in a small village. I was born and I grew up in a small village in Kerala, central Kerala, in Ernakulam district. Both my parents were teachers. Only when I had a very unbiased upbringing, because we are talking about Stree at 2022, and we are talking about bias, everything. So I had a very unbiased upbringing. I had a brother, and I had lots of cousins and uncles and aunties around my house. But I was never, ever, I never ever felt that I'm a girl child, so I should behave differently or I will be treated differently. Never. So I grew up in a society and in a household which gave equal freedom to me as my brother, which I realized only after I moved out of Kerala, when I got married and came to Delhi. And then when I started traveling far and wide in India and abroad, I realized that's not the case with everyone. So I was very lucky to have a very, very unbiased upbringing. And that's the mindset I have, that, there's nothing which prevents you, a lady, from becoming successful. Because my mother was a working mother. All my aunties were working. So it naturally came to me that I should also be a professional. And when I'll just share one slide which shows my career growth path, which you can all see and understand what one minute. Yeah. So this is what my career path looks like. The student days, I graduated in 1984, my BTech from Kerala, 86 MTech from IIT Madras. So I'm sure all of you can relate to some phase of my career. So I thought I will show it like this, just one slide. I have no more slides, and I can explain. So my dream was to teach. I want to challenge each one of you. How many of you want to teach? It's the best profession as far as I'm concerned, because you are responsible to only your students. And if you're a good teacher, you get respect everywhere and all the time. So I wanted to teach. So I went back to Kerala to teach in REC Calicut, NIT Calicut. I joined. Luckily, I got a job that time, permanent government job. Joined REC Calicut, got married in 1986, and I had to move to Delhi because my husband was in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He was a doctor. Husband and his family, they were all in Delhi. So my parents said, you must be with your husband, so you must resign your job, the government job of REC NIT Calicut, and go to Delhi. So I coolly resigned and I came to Delhi, joined full-time PhD in IIT Delhi. So what I have shown as arrows are all opportunities which I got, many other opportunities. But I think the move to Delhi was one of the golden opportunities I got. I realized it only much, much later in life, because since I moved to Delhi and joined full-time PhD, I had a PhD by the time I was 29. This is way back in early 90s, you remember, a PhD in engineering. And that gave me a head start as a teacher. So my advice is, if you want to study and acquire degrees, acquire it at the right time. I'm not saying that you can't do it later, but better you acquire your degrees at the right time, especially for women. Only thing is, my in-laws and my husband was also very supportive. I did my PhD after marriage with my daughter. She was born one year into my PhD, but then that PhD degree at an early age gave me a head start, and I joined Delhi College of Engineering to teach, again, a UPSC job. I started teaching in Delhi College of Engineering, but then at that point of time, I just left everything, in the sense that I was only doing my routine teaching because I had to look after my children. I had a son and a daughter, so I have to look after my children. So I was just doing my routine work as a professor. That's my second take, that, many women, many young girls are worried, if I take up a profession or career, what will I do with my family? The point is, motherhood and family are part of you. I mean, for most of the people whom, it's part of life. So you can't postpone it indefinitely, saying that I want my career and then I will do my family, then I have my children. That will be too late. What I mean to say is, once in your job, you can always slow down. I have done that. I did my research. I joined Delhi College of Engineering. I slowed down till my kids were like, my son was still, he was 3-4 years. I did just my routine work. I didn't do anything additional. So I did my routine teaching. I did my normal teaching job. That's it. But I gave all the attention to my kids. And then Delhi College was moving out of Delhi to 40 kilometers away from Delhi. And but then before that, let me tell you, I was very scared to take up responsibilities. I just used to do my routine work, but I was perfect in my work. Like, if I take up a responsibility, I will do 100%. I will give my 100% to my job. And I took up everything what my colleagues asked me to do, my HOD or whoever it is. I never asked, mujhe kya milega? Because nowadays, the trend is, not nowadays, when I moved out of Kerala, and generally now when I talk to people in the last maybe 20 years, anything is done for something. You why do you take up IEEE volunteer positions, for example? I have seen so many kids, so many engineering students and even professionals take up leadership positions or volunteer positions for a certificate or just to have their name there. But let's not do that. If you're doing something, do it for the experience you gain out of it, not for a certificate or for enhancing your biodata. That's not the whole purpose. The experience you gain out of it remains with you. So that attitude I always had, that it doesn't matter whether it's going to benefit me in the short term, but I will do it because I am gaining experience out of it. And I was doing all that when I was in Delhi College of Engineering. And when the college was moving away from my home, I moved to Jamia Millia Islamia in 1996. Now, Jamia Millia Islamia, I have shown that movement as red again. I moved to Jamia Millia Islamia. That's another big opportunity which I got. Of course, I became an associate professor. I got a promotion also. I was moving to a higher position. But at that point of time, BCE was one of the top 10 institutions, and Jamia was not very well known at that time. Of course, Jamia is a central university, 101 years old. Now we are sixth in university category in the NIRF and everything. Jamia is very well known now, but in 1996, the engineering faculty at Jamia was very, very small, new, and there were a lot of issues. So even my family was not very keen on that move. But why I have put it as a big risk I took, but a calculated risk was, Jamia proved to be so good to me because I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So there was no MTech program there. I started the first MTech program with industry support. I established the substation automation lab, the SCADA lab. I started the Center for Innovation there, and it's a large university with 17,000 students and 9 faculties, and everything from school to PhD in, everything from law to natural science to education to social sciences and engineering, architecture, everything is there. So it was so good to me, and it was very near my house, and I could take care of my children in the evenings, etc., etc. So that was a big risk which I took at that time, moving from a very famous institute to a lesser known faculty where I had all the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So that's what I have shown in red, that moving to Jamia was such a good thing which happened. Now, I discussed this already. I established the SCADA lab. I became a professor in 2001. I got my promotions on time because I had my PhD already at the age of 29, and I was continuously innovating, doing my research. That's what I said. Even if I slowed down when I had my kids for 3-4 years, it didn't hamper me. By the age when I was just turning 40, I became a professor because I was and let me tell you, I never carried work home. I will sit from 9 to 5 or 5:30 in the institute and complete my work. And how could I complete? Because I had my support system at home. That's another lesson which I want to tell all the girls here. You need to develop your support system if you want to have a career as well as a good family life. What was my support system? I was married into a family in Delhi where my in-laws were there. My husband stayed with his parents and I moved into that house. Even now I'm with my in-laws, although I just lost my father-in-law recently. But that was my primary support system. They were so supportive, and they were there for my children, and of course the beautiful help I had in the form of maids all through my life, and the relatives. So you had to spend time and energy to build your support system. If you are a working woman, there is no other go. You are not a superwoman. You can't do it all. You can't do justice to your job, as well as you can't do justice to your children. You have to develop your support system. And in India, there are many ways in which you can develop your support system, but you have to spend time to develop your support system. That will be that will help you build your career as well as your family. Then again, as I said earlier, I was very reluctant to take up responsibilities. Once I became a professor, I could become the head of the department and many other things, but I was happy with, okay, let me do my lab, let me say, I was, innovative, doing different things, but the headship was given to somebody else. I never bothered. It's okay. I will sit at this corner and do it. Then this, there is a UGC has a workshop, that time had a workshop series called Capacity Building for Women Managers in Higher Education. That's, the number of women leaders are very, very limited. For example, when I was the director, I am the first woman director of NIT Trichy, as well as I was the only lady director among 86 centrally funded institutions at that time. All IITs, all NITs, like 23 IITs, 31 NITs, 25 triple ITs, 6 ICERs, 86 centrally funded institutes. I was the only lady. All other men. So whenever I go, even Jamia, when I became a professor, I was the only lady professor among some 150 professors. This UGC started this program to encourage more women to take up responsibilities. Even today, the number of women at assistant professor level are much more, but when you move up, the number of associate is much less, number of professors very less, who takes up leadership positions, even less. You look at the vice chancellors or directors, very, very few, you can count them on your fingertips. So that UGC started this program and somebody just dragged me into it. They said, Minnie, you please come and attend this course in JNU. So I said, okay, let me see what is happening there. So I went there. It's a 6-day workshop and it really transformed my outlook. I said, what am I doing? I have the capability, or I'll develop my capability. Let me take up some responsibility. So I started, next my turn, I took up the headship. I had a lot of problems during my headship because I believe in being very straightforward. I don't become party to any wrongdoings, or I am not in any group. I'm always neutral. And my upbringing is not to bring in anything into your decisions. Nobody can influence me in my decisions. I will look at the paper. I don't care who sent the paper. Only the matter is important to me, and I'll go by rules because I got everything on merit. So I will support only merit. So, but I could survive. Everybody understood that she's a lady, but she will not allow anybody to fire a gun from her shoulder. So I got the respect. I could achieve whatever I had planned. And so that capacity building workshop I would take, that was another opportunity given to me. Then I started my, HOD. Then I became the Center Public Information Officer of Jamia. I did that position for 7 years. I set up the information office. Again, it was new setting up, but then the substation automation lab happened. Then another good thing which happened was I was always member of IEEE from the time I was a PhD scholar, because we used to refer our IEEE publications. And I became a member. And in Delhi College of Engineering, we started the, their technical fest called Troika. Even now it's going strong. We started it in 1992. And in Jamia, I rejuvenated the student, branch of Jamia Millia. We started the women in engineering there. Delhi section, I started the women in engineering. And then I got picked up to volunteer for the Asia Pacific. And then in 2009, I became a global IEEE volunteer. I was elected as the vice chair of the MGA board. And I was continuously traveling 5-6 times a year abroad. And, I was presenting at board meetings. I was, taking up, I was interacting with people across the globe. That really developed my personality. And that really gave me the confidence to face anything. Because, when you go for global meetings, what I have noticed with people from this part of the world is, suppose I'm traveling to the US for a meeting, the meeting starts at 8 a.m., which may be 8 p.m. for me. A lot of people get late. A lot of people will sleep during the meeting, but then you can't do that in an international forum. So, it gave me a lot of exposure and a lot of confidence as a person, and exposure, how meetings are conducted, what are the rules, everything I learned from volunteering for these positions. And I got mentors, international mentors, who are working in the same field of research, but from industry. So they helped me set up the substation automation lab. They helped me in so many things. They have become personal friends now. So that global exposure this professional society gave and the confidence it gave was immense. So I think that, global volunteering of IEEE took me to a different level. In 2012 onwards, I became, senior administrator in my university. Then I was volunteering for many other things. And then I wrote a textbook because I started teaching something new. That is also what I want to tell you all listening to me. My research was something totally different from, I mean, my PhD work was something different from what I'm doing now for the last 20 years. I couldn't do much practical in, I was doing some research on transformers. So I left it, I told you, during my DCE times, and I wanted to do something new when I joined Jamia. So I picked up power automation as I got some interest in power automation, and I learned power automation on my own. I started the new MTech program in power automation. I set up these 2 labs in power automation, and 15 years I taught without a textbook power automation. Finally, I wrote a textbook along with one of my mentors from the US, published by CRC Press. Then I started the Innovation Center and the Livelihood Business Incubation Center at Jamia. And then all of a sudden in 2016, this, offer came from NIT Trichy. I had applied, of course, because my mother-in-law only encouraged me to apply, and my husband, that, you have done so much, you're getting bored in Jamia, why don't you apply for this director position? I applied, and I was surprised when I was selected, because there were so many people who were interviewed. So it's God's grace, and it's a miracle that I was appointed the director of the best NIT. But I was in a dilemma. Why should I move from Delhi to, I had never been to Trichy earlier. So I was in a dilemma. Why should I do it? I'm well settled in Delhi, and, I have my labs, I have my MTech program, I have my innovation center. But then my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my parents, my husband, my children, my friends, they all said, no, Minnie, you have to do it. You have had enough, exposure, and you had enough. Come out of your comfort zone, go there. It's God's will, and it's a public service. Now you have to give back to the society. Go to Trichy. So it took me 2 weeks to decide. I said, okay, I'm going. So I moved to Trichy, and that was again one of the big risks I took, because I was leaving my family, all of them. I was moving to Trichy alone, a new place. And see, I'm new to NIT system. Although 1 year I worked in REC as a lecturer, I'm from a central university. NIT system is different, and I had so many problems to tackle in Trichy. But by God's grace, we could do extremely well. My team there, I must thank all the faculty, staff, and students there. We developed a strategic plan. We are implementing it so effectively. So we moved from 12th rank to 9th in engineering, just behind the vintage IITs. And overall, from 34, we moved to 24. We set up so many centers. So many things happened in Trichy. And 5 years was wonderful, although it was 24/7 work, so much of pressure, so much of things to tackle. But then, it was such a good thing, such a good memory of 5 years at Trichy. And then I moved back to Delhi now, just started teaching day before yesterday at Jamia Millia. I'm enjoying it. And my children, I've been mentoring them, and they are doing well. As such, I will stop sharing, but I will just talk a few more things for another 2 minutes, because I want to give some tips for all the women here, that, never claim special treatment as a woman. Then you have lost the game. What I mean is, I had so many women colleagues who will say that, I have my kid to look after, I have to do it, I have to go home early. Don't do that. And that's why I said you have to develop your support system, because you are in a profession, and you are claiming to be treated at par with the gentleman. Then don't claim special treatment. And I have seen many women do that, so that is detrimental. And my take is that, we have to work harder than men to be successful at work. That's my experience. And you have to prove in the beginning that, you have to work harder than men initially, because people are reluctant to give you work, because they're not confident, because that's I don't blame the men, because that's a mindset of the society. We have been growing up in a patriarchal society, so that's the mindset. So we have to change that mindset, show that we are capable, we can do it. So and you have to be visible and be innovative all the time. Don't repeat what somebody has done. Just change it a bit, and bring in your perspective into whatever you are doing, and then go ahead and do it. Nobody can prevent you. So these are my 2 cents about what I did and how I carried myself. I'm open to questions. If there is something more you would like to know from me. Thank you so much once again for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for such an insightful and unique disposition. And now I would like to present you with some questions we have from the audience.
Sure. You will ask me?
Hello, ma'am. My
Yeah.
name is Ria. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How to break the bias for mid-career women?
Okay. See, mid-career woman is like, she will be maybe a mother, and she will have a lot of responsibility at home. At the same time, she may be a if I'm taking teaching profession, she may be just aspiring to be promoted at work, etc., etc. So again, my take on it is, you can always see, you have to show that you are capable to remove the bias. See, if some responsibility is given to you, I have seen many women shirk responsibilities. No, I can't do it. Don't do that, because that will only aggravate the situation. So you will have to take up the responsibility, what is given to you. But then at the same time, you have to build your support system at home. That's one. So when a respond, or you have to volunteer, I can do it. And volunteer and do it, and don't shy away from taking responsibilities. That is one. Once you show that you're capable, you can do it. And one more thing is, you have to be visible, in an organization, because what happens mostly is, the men will have their own groups, they sit and chat, and you are not, you may not be that aware of what is happening in the institute or in your organization. That is not good. So you should know. I'm not saying that you go sit and gossip and have tea. That's not possible for us. But at least you must be present in meetings. And in meetings, just going and sitting there is not enough. You read through the agenda. That is why I said, when I volunteered for IEEE, that experience was so good, because in Trichy, I never had a chairperson board of governors. So I was the chairperson board of governors. So I had to take decisions. I had to lead the meeting. I had to do all that. So in a meeting, if you go prepared. Because if you have an agenda, read the agenda, make some points. And in a meeting, when you talk something, people will listen. Notice, okay, this lady, you can't take her for granted. She knows the rules. Read the rules of your organization. If something is happening against the rule, have the guts to point it out. Except that's what I meant by visible. I'm not saying that go and gossip and have tea. No, that's not required. And another mid-career women advice, not for mid-career, for everyone, is you have to fix your priorities, because everybody has only 24 hours. So you have to fix your priority, whether you want to spend more time with your friends, or you want to do look more of TV and YouTube or Netflix, or you want to spend more time on your professional society, or learning something new, or making yourself presentable. So you have to fix your priorities, which is very, very important, because we can't do everything. So you have to prioritize and devote your time for each and every activity, then nobody can prevent you, nobody can stop you. That's my experience. And I have seen it with many of my colleagues in all institutions. If they fix your priorities and if they show that they are capable, nobody can stop you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, there is a question in the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
How much do you think women shape the future is a true phrase?
Okay, women shape the future. It is true in one sense, but I don't agree that 100% women shape the future. I would say that, men also shape the future, but they say behind every man there is a woman. But I would say women can shape it better, because women, I feel, are more matured and more, emotionally stable. That's what I have seen, with women leaders. Most of them are much more stable and they can take sensible decisions and they don't explode. I can very easily say that 5 years I ran NIT Trichy. I managed to do it without even shouting at anyone. I've never shouted at people or I've never raised my voice. We can do it. We have the capability. So women shape the future, no doubt, but give some credit to men also, right? I think we'll together shape the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I
Yeah.
do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think women are overlooked, like still overlooked for getting promotions or awards?
Yes and no, because for promotions, it all depends on how. If you take it. I have sat in so many interview boards, so I have seen the attitude of the rest of the people in an interview board. I think in Trichy we conducted around 100 interview boards, in 5 years. So again, I would say that it is natural for men to ask personal questions to a woman candidate. For example, if a woman walks in to take up a position of assistant professor, suppose I'm interviewing in Trichy and somebody from Haryana or Delhi is there. So the first question a gentleman, my experts will ask is, how will you come from Delhi to Trichy? Who will take care of your family? So I stop them, I cut them, and I say that you have no right to ask these questions. If you're asking this to a lady, ask the same thing to a gentleman who is coming from Delhi. Who will take care of your family? Will you bring your wife? I said, no personal questions. I will cut them short. I will not allow any such questions to be asked to a lady. So that I think only a lady can do. And let me tell you, all of you, as per Government of India norms, if a lady is attending an interview as a candidate, you have to have a lady on the panel. It's mandatory. So you can insist that there should be a lady. But at the same time, I have seen ladies also not supporting women. That's the saddest part. So you have to change the mindset. So see, it's again a patriarchal society. So they are worried. Okay, this lady coming from Haryana, how will she manage that? So they are asking it out of their concern. But then that's not so. She has come for an interview, make her comfortable and give the interview. So I agree that there are biases, but we have to overcome the biases. We are overcoming it. There are so many men who are very supportive. And again, I have seen time and again people saying that, she will join, then she will get married, she will have a child, she'll take 6 months maternity leave. It's part of life. You can't get away with it. It's a part of life. It's for the humanity. We are doing that service. So we have to accept it, and we have to tell the men that, remove that mindset. You are contributing to the society when you're giving maternity leave or giving some consideration to a woman naturally, but don't ask for it. That's what I meant. Don't claim special treatment being a woman. That's what I meant. Yeah. But we are overcoming it slowly. All of you will help us overcome it. The promotions and awards and all. Of course, some of the awarding institutions have a bigger age relaxation, at least 5 years more. A lady, like if the deadline for a man is 35 years for an award, some of the awards it's 40, because as I said, that slowdown for 5 years can happen for a lady. So we have to fight for it, and we have to get it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's what Stree@2022 is focusing on. Break the bias.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all our questions. I would request Madhvi, ma'am, to felicitate our guest, Dr. Minnie Thomas.
I had 2-3 more comments to share. To each one of you, I don't know whether all of you are women listening to me, but my last piece of my observation is, all this should start from home. Because think if you're discriminating your boy child and your girl child in anything, because that's the mindset you're building inside the mind of a young child, that okay, I'm a girl, I can't do this, I'm a boy, I can do this. So it should start from home. Each one of you give equal opportunity, like I said, I got from my family. So it should start from home. It should start from society, and you have to spend time with with all of this. And finally, count your blessings. When you are down, when you are upset, count your blessings. Countless blessings, right? So even if you fail, it's fine. You can fail, you may not get a position right now, but the experience you gain, nobody is going to take it out of you. So stay calm, focused, and you can do it. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. We are very fortunate to have you here. The session was indeed very insightful and inspiring, and there are a few things which really fascinated me as a listener. The very first thing which was there in your PPT, the career graph. The career graph is a combination of your professional as well as personal life. So this shows how balanced you are as a person, and a lot to learn from you. The second point which I like about you is give preference to your personal life and build your support system. This is a really important point which you mentioned in your talk, ma'am. The third point is your go-getter attitude, which we really loved. That be it the position of the director or the chairperson, the go-getter attitude of yours is really commendable. And the last but not the least, the tips which you gave us, all of us, is work hard and be innovative, which is really very important for all of us in the field of technology. So it is, be it the field of technology or any other field, but then we have to work hard, be it a man or a women. So on behalf of Women Development of ESIT and IEEE, VIE IEEE Student Brand, I would like to present an e-memento. The slide will appear.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Anytime. I enjoy talking to young minds, and you never know what excites them or what just triggers something in them. And my final word is follow your passion. Then only you will succeed. You must enjoy what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? If you don't like
Yes,
something, you have the option nowadays. You take up, because in Trichy I have seen many of my alumni, they are no more engineers. They are doing everything else. So follow your passion. do something which you love, then you will put in 100%.
Absolutely.
All the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. I hope I can leave.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Sarika, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the and all the best for the rest of the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mini ma'am, for your wonderful session.
Maitri,
For
Maitri, just a second.
okay,
Maitri?
sure. Yes,
Yeah. So we're just connecting with the guest. Just a second.
Devyani ma'am, are you there? Devyani ma'am, are you there? Pause किया ना? Devyani ma'am, are you there? हाँ.
Hello, Devyani ma'am, please join your audio.
We are really sorry for that thing, because it's an unavoidable circumstances. I hope you liked the first session. Okay, and I just request Asha ma'am to give a vote of thanks to everyone. Am I audible? Sarika ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Asha.
Yeah, thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. I, Asha Savan, consider myself extremely fortunate to be able to present the vote of thanks for today's panel discussion on Stree 2022 Break the Bias. The entire journey from the beginning to the end of the event was successful for us as we got to meet our wonderful speakers. The goal of the event was to bring together young girls on to meet our on account of International Women's Day and to teach them about the various scenarios and skills and to answer individual questions. I would like to begin by thanking our dearest principal ma'am for her invaluable assistance in organizing this event and Vidyalanka Ganti Trust Management for their unwavering support in our endeavors. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Minnie Thomas ma'am for their contributions today. I appreciate all the VSIT faculty members for attending this event and all the participants for being a lovely audience and actively participating. I would like to thank the faculty mentors of IEEE VSIT SB student branch, Dr. Sarika Chauhan ma'am, then Kimaya ma'am, and Madhvi Amankar ma'am, to captain and steer the ship to ensure smooth operations of the event. I would like to heartily thank all the invitees for your enthusiastic participation today. To you, we owe the greatest debate of gratitude. It was a great pleasure to have you all for this event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the student team of IEEE VSIT student branch for your contributions and the continuous hard work. Now I have few requests for the attendees. The feedback link of the feedback form link for the session you will find in chat box within a second. Please fill it out before leaving this webinar. And emails with the feedback form link will also be sent to all the registered attendees. Please make sure you will submit it by today so that you can receive your e-certificate of participation. It was a pleasure to have you all present in the event. Thank you everyone. Goodbye and stay safe everyone. So in short, I'm just putting the link. Please everyone fill the feedback form. Also, I request everyone to switch on the camera so that we can have a group photo to create the memories together. Yes, technical team, just confirm if you just take the group photo. I request everyone to switch on the camera.
But done, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Chetna. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. All are requested to fill the feedback form.
Hello, Asha ma'am.
Yes, Swati, yes.
Ma'am, wait, Sarika ma'am is joining. Wait.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. But I think participants almost so they have left. I can see 20 participants are there. Madhvi, is the recording on?
Yes, ma'am.
You have
Yes,
to
yes,
stop
ma'am.
it now. I think you have to stop that or pause it.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay.
At least pause it. We will see what to do
Okay.
then.
I request everyone to switch on their cameras. It's the last day. बैठना किनारे ओए क्या कर रही है बैठना So I request everyone to switch on their cameras. I can see only few. Students, quickly. It's the last day.
Finally, we have reached to the last day of the exam.
Are we done? Chetna, you are not there? Team, are we done with the group photo? Chetna, you are not there? Chetna, Ruchi, the team and other people also can switch on their cameras. Okay, thank you so much.